Leaves are cupping up, tips are going pale, and every comment under your post says the same thing. Your light's too close. Most of the time, the light is fine. The room just can't cash the check it's writing. Joe here with Green Zone Grow Shops. Tonight we're talking about the one piece of gear everybody's got their hands on. The light. Lights got cheap and stupid powerful over the last couple of years. Almost every one of them has a dimmer now. And the number one question I get in the shop, in the comments, is some version of, how high should this thing be? Am I too close? Here's the thing nobody tells you when you upgrade. The light is the easiest thing in the tent to change, so it becomes the thing you blame for everything. But a lot of the time, the light is just the messenger. And if you shoot the messenger, you never find out what it was trying to tell you. This one's for the home grower. Tent, closet, spare room, mostly soil, who just hung a light brighter than anything they've run and is staring at the tops, trying to figure out if they're winning or cooking. We're not here to sell you a light. We're not here to scare you. We're here so you can read what the plant's actually saying and stop guessing. Quick word on MyRemy if you're new here. It's a GPT-style grow bot trained on a huge body of grow knowledge. In the shop, we lean on this tool every day because it's clean, structured, gives great baseline answers, the kind of answers that will surprise even a veteran grower. So I ran tonight's 3 questions through it earlier, and I'm reading you what it actually said, then adding the shop floor read on top. It's free on our website, next to the grow guides. Throw your own questions at it before you start guessing. Drop where you're growing from and what you're running for a light. Good to see all the regulars. Pull up a chair. We're getting into it. Here is the moment that starts it. You walk in a few days after hanging that new light, or right after you bumped it up, and the tops are angled straight up. Leaves reaching for the bar so hard, they're almost vibrating. First, it looks awesome. Then you notice the very tips are going pale, almost white, and the top leaves are starting to curl up at the edges. And it's only the top. The bottom of the plant looks perfect. That's the gut drop. Am I burning my best tops right now? And your hands are already on that dimmer. Before I read you what MyRemy said, sit on this. Those same leaves pointing straight up can mean your plant is thriving or about to cook. The difference is one detail, and most growers look right past it. Here's the question I put to MyRemy. I said, my top leaves are praying hard and the tips are starting to go pale. Is my light too close, or is the plant just happy? Here's what it said. Healthy praying and early light stress can look the same at first, so read the leaf shape and the location together. Praying is a good sign when the leaves angle up toward the light, but the blades stay flat and relaxed. Edges not curling, good color. That happy posture across a lot of the canopy, not just the very top, that means the plant's transpiring well, and the light's in a strong but manageable zone. It flips to a warning when the upward angle is mostly on the tallest tops, closest to the light. The lower canopy still looks fine, and the edges start curling up into a taco or canoe. The big tell, in our case, only the tallest colas are getting pale tips, while everything lower is healthy and green. That points to early light stress, not a whole plant nutrient issue. A deficiency follows leaf mobility. Light stress follows distance from the fixture. The closest tops get hit first, so flat green, evenly perky is good. Pale, curling, top only, and closest to the light is your warning. Ease the light back or raise it a few inches, and don't panic. Caught early, she's dramatic, not doomed. So here's what I want you to actually do with that. And a lot of the time, the answer is nothing. If those edges are flat, walk away. The number one thing I watch people do is panic over a praying plant that was just flexing, yank the light way up, and cost themselves growth for no reason. The flip side is the grower who sees the tips paling on the tops and dumps a bunch of nutrients in. When MyRemy just told you the pattern's screaming lights, not feed. Don't answer a light question with a bottle. So, flat edges, leave it alone. Curling edges, only on the tops closest to the light. Now we move. And we move gently, because you can catch this without turning it into a fire drill. Quick one for the room. Go look at your tops right now. Flat edges, curling up. Drop a praying or taco in the chat. I'm curious what everybody's got going on tonight. All right, so say it really is tacoing, okay? Tacoing, stress, praying, good. Say it really is tacoing. Here's what almost everybody does next, me included back in the day. You grab the light, yank it up a foot, or crank the dimmer down right now to make it stop. Or the other version, you see those pale tips, decide it's nutrient burn, and you flush. And then nothing really changes, or it gets worse. So you move again. The move that feels like the fix is usually the move that hides what's actually wrong. Let me show you why. Here's the question I ran through MyRemy. My tops were tacoing, so I raised the light right away. Why didn't that fix it, and what should I have done first? Here's what it said. When you see top leaves tacoing, don't automatically move the light first. Tacoing looks like too much light, but a lot of the time it's canopy heat, low humidity, or bad VPD. The leaf curls up to cut its surface area and slow water loss. That happens even when intensity isn't the real problem. Here's the trap. Light and heat stress don't fix instantly. Once leaves taco, they may not flatten back overnight, even after you correct the issue. So if you raise the light, dim it, change the fan, water differently, and tweak nutrients all in one day, you made it impossible to know what actually helped. There's also a ceiling. At normal room CO2, around 400 ppm, the plant can only use so much light. Once photosynthesis is saturated, more light is not more growth. It's just stress. Pale tops, bleaching, crispy edges. You are flooring the gas pedal with the engine already maxed. And the destructive version, calling pale tips nutrient burn and flushing hard. Now the roots are soaked, oxygen drops, lockout starts, and a light issue becomes a root zone problem. Before you touch the light, check canopy temp, humidity, VPD, airflow, and how close the tops are. One change at a time, and give it time to respond. Catch what MyRemy just did. It didn't say, yeah, raise it. It said, stop touching things. That's the whole ballgame. And here's why grabbing the light is so tempting. It's the one thing in the tent with a dial on it. Checking your heat, your humidity, how you're watering, that feels like work. The dimmer feels like a fix. So we fix the thing that's easy to reach instead of the thing that actually works. That flush move it mentioned, that's the one that keeps me up at night. Because the grower thinks that they're saving the plant and they're actually drowning it. You turn a light question into a root zone mess. Remember the messenger I mentioned on top? This is shooting it. The plant told you something, and instead of listening, you reached for the loudest knob in the room. So that's the real question, isn't it? It's not, is it the light? It's, how do you know? Because light stress, heat stress, and a watering problem can all curl same leaf. guess wrong, and you'll fix the symptom and keep the problem, and you'll be right back here next week. There's an order to this, and the order is the whole thing. All right, so here's the order. Read the plant, check the water, check the canopy, and then make one move. All right, so here's what I asked MyRemy. When the tops look stressed, how do I tell if it's light, heat, or water? And what do I check before I touch the light at all? Here's what it said. Well, when top leaves curl, don't immediately blame the light. Read the plant first. Look at what the edges are doing. Praying, tacoing, canoeing, clawing, or just limp. Then, where is it happening? Mostly the top canopy under the light? Light, heat, or VPD may be involved. Whole plant drooping or curled? Start thinking root zone. Next, check water in the root zone before you chase the environment. A thirsty plant curls. A waterlogged plant curls. Bad roots make a plant act stressed, even when the air numbers look fine. Pick up the pot, feel the medium, make sure it can actually drink, then check the environment. At the top of the canopy, you have a VPD gun to measure the leaf at the canopy level. Don't use the sensor across the room. Put the meter where the stressed leaves are, right where the light is. The room average can lie to you. Then and only then change one light variable. Raise it, dim it, or shorten exposure. One move. Give it time to respond before you judge. One check at a time keeps you from chasing one symptom while three more pop up behind it. And read each plant on its own. Two cultivars under the same light react differently. An indica may taco sooner, while a sativa sits there unbothered. The plant in front of you gets the final vote. That read the canopy, not the room average point. We got into this a couple of weeks back on the numbers episode. The controller reads the room, not what your tops are actually feeling. Same lesson, different knob. MyRemy gave you the order, so I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to tell you the part everybody skips. It's not the checks, it's the waiting. Do one thing. Then, sitting on your hands for a few days feels impossible when your plant looks stressed and your gut is screaming, do something. But the patience is the entire difference between a grower who gets a little better every run and the grower who's been making the same 3 mistakes for 2 years. The order isn't about being fussy. It's about never lying to yourself about what worked. Change 5 things and it gets better. You learn nothing. You got lucky. Change 1 and wait. Now you actually know your grow. That right there is how you stop guessing for good. Let's bring this home. We started with those pale tips, the curling tops, and the comment everybody leaves. Your light is too close. And sometimes it is. But the real lesson tonight, your light is almost never too strong on its own. It's too strong for the room you gave it. The intensity is writing a check, and it's the temperature, the humidity, the water, the stage of the plant that decides whether the room can cache it. So before your hand goes to the dimmer, praying with flat edges is a thank you. Tacoing is a complaint, and a complaint means go check the room before you blame the bulb. More light only pays off if the environment can cash the check. Quick cheat sheet, since you've probably got a par meter, these are PPFD numbers, the light hitting the canopy. And no CO2 in the room, seedlings aim for 200 to 300, veg 400 to 600, flower 600 to 900. And believe it or not, past about 1,000 without CO2 and you're just buying bleach. And remember the tell we opened with. The difference between a plant that's thriving and a plant that's cooking is right there in the edges of the leaf. And you know where to look now. Don't move the light to chase the leaf. Read the room first. Some familiar names, some new ones. This is my favorite part of the week. If you're catching the replay, do me a favor. Drop a comment with what your first move usually is when the tops look stressed. Or tell me about a light situation you've been fighting. I read them. And if you've got a grow situation worth breaking down, something that's been driving you nuts, put it in the comments. We pull real ones into future episodes and break them down live. And if yours makes it in, we'll tag you when it drops. We built Green Zone around exactly this. Education first, no pressure, real answers for real growers, trying to figure out what our plants are telling us. That's the whole shop. And like I said, MyRemy is free on the website if you want a clean baseline answer before you start moving things around. Use it, it's there for you. If you're local, Worcester, anywhere in New England, and you want to talk through your grow face-to-face, come see us at Green Zone Grow Shops. Doors always open. Real growers, real talk, no fluff. Have a great night.